Greetings, everybody. I'm just getting everything set up here. If you can hear the sound of my voice, could you raise your hand? And yes, perfect. Thank you, MJ. That's great. So hello, I am Laurel, and I host a support call usually on the first Wednesday of the month. But today we have made an exception and we're here on the first Thursday. So I'm in Colorado and we're skiing and just to share just a personal thing for a moment. This is something that my partner has encouraged me to do, but it pushes against all of my fears and yeah, it stretches me in a lot of ways. And I think about letting go and resistance. And when I sense fear, or the body senses fear, there is resistance and holding back. And it makes it so much harder if I just let go and released and just let gravity take me, it would be a lot easier. So that's what I've got going on here. And as soon as I'm done with this call, I'll be back on the slopes. And so perhaps the releasing that we do today, we'll support it to be a lot more free. We'll see what happens. But so yes, this is just like all the other support calls, a chance to ask questions, receive support, and share gains. And so I'm grateful for whoever decides to be here with us today, and we'll just see what happens. So to that end, I think, and I don't use video. It's not required, but if you want to be here on video, please feel free. All is welcome here. And I'm just grateful to be here with you. So I think, well, MJ had her hand up earlier, but I think that was just to indicate she could hear me. And so looks like Bobby has a hand raised.
Oh, hi, Laurel. This is my first time on your support call, and
Yay.
I'm so super grateful. Um,
Oh,
it's a gain, Lester says he likes another word for love, the words togetherness or allowing. And I just always benefit from whatever topic anybody else brings up. It's just like I get more releasing in.
oh yeah.
And I could really identify with your authenticity of sharing the fear and resistance that apparently is happening for you.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. You think
um
you work with releasing for however long, and it's like
yeah,
it shouldn't be here, and it's like,
yeah,
well, it just is.
yeah, it's like, oh, could you see you don't like it? Yes. Could you see you want to change it? Yeah. It's such
Yeah.
opportunity. So
Oh.
I'll release yeah, I've been kind of digging deeper in the release work for the joy of it on my goals, and so much more comes up.
Hmm.
And I know it just comes up for um to let go of. So what's present for me, and I'd like to feel freer about, and thanks for your facilitation, is
Mm.
I have a dear friend that's coming. I live in Pennsylvania and she's coming down from Maine um with a friend. And this is a dear old friend since sixth grade, but I haven't seen her in many, many, many years. And it's just bringing up like stuff, being
Mm.
seen and the teenage years.
Hmm.
So something around relaxing, the goal would be kind of like allowing myself to relax in the presence of others and be
Mm.
seen. So thanks, Laurel.
Mm. You're so welcome. Is there any wanting approval showing up around this friend?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Well, we'll just how about we do a little bit of holistic releasing around wanting approval and then just being seen, being loved, being accepted as you are. How does that feel for
Yeah,
you?
perfect.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. And you might, as we do this, notice, have an image in your mind of your friend, their face. I don't know the last time you've seen them, if you have a recent image. Whatever image comes to mind, just could you welcome their presence. Perhaps it's the moment when you'll first greet your friend. Just can you imagine that in your mind right now? And then could you notice any wanting approval that appears to arise? And any other feelings that, words that capture that resistance or sense of doubt. And could you allow that to be here as much as it is?
Yes.
Perfect. And then could you also welcome being seen as you are?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you really feel that absolute love, that absolute acceptance of being as you are, just as you are?
Yes.
Beautiful. And then noticing if there's any remaining resistance around your friend, any sense of judgment or not good enough in any way. And whatever's there, could you allow it to be there?
Yes.
Perfect. And then could you welcome in this absolute, infinite, unconditional love?
Yes.
Perfect. And could you allow that to permeate your body and your being? That sense of oneness.
Yes.
Beautiful. Could you really just enjoy that for a moment? That beingness that you are. Not attached to anything. That sense of togetherness. The truth of who you are. And so
It's a lot
what
more
are
space. It's quiet, more quiet now.
perfect. And so as you think about seeing your friend, what arises?
Um, there's an insecure feeling
Okay.
apparently happening.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mhm.
And is there any
Yeah.
more words that you'd like to give to that?
It's like the word innocence comes up. We were so young together.
Hmm. And so when you think about the contrast between how you appeared to be then when you were more innocent, what comes up now, that sense of insecurity? Is there a belief? around how you are now versus how you were then.
Ah, it's like not really. It's just like some anxious energy coming up.
Okay. Yeah. So could you just simply notice that? Notice any
Yeah.
sense of, yeah, any sense of anxiousness. And is there a particular part of your body where that anxiousness seems to come from?
Feels like am I clutching in the chest? It feels like I'm trying to protect myself with fear.
Mhm. So is there like does this feel true? You know, I need to protect myself from my friend or, you know, when I see my friend again.
Not true.
Okay, okay. Okay. So just noticing this feeling in your chest. If you were going to ask it, you know, there's knowing that there's something it feels like it needs to protect around. You could just ask that area of the body in the chest, what is it that you need to feel safe?
Something comes up just to be the natural, my beingness and the natural joy and love that I am and let go.
And what's getting in the way of that?
Fear comes up again.
Okay. And is there any words, like any judgments about yourself or limiting beliefs around that fear?
Seems like just a story of shame from the past.
Hmm. Okay. So could you just notice that story?
Yes.
Yeah, which you definitely identify this as a story. And where does that story exist? Mhm.
In the vault. It's in the vault.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You kept it so well protected.
So amazing. Yeah.
In this
The vault
story,
of love. The vault of love just
oh,
coming up.
good.
More space. Yeah.
Okay, good. Beautiful. Beautiful. And this story of shame from the past, is this a story that you would like to keep telling? Like to keep
No, that's
revisiting?
okay.
What's that?
Let that go.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. So could you let go of this story? Maybe make room for something else in this vault of love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
could
it's
you?
beautiful. It's really moving. It's really like deeper
Beautiful.
weirdness is coming up.
Great. Bring it on. Yeah,
Right.
and you can just set it free. Just let it float away, fly away,
Yeah.
slither
Yeah.
away. Yeah, and what comes up when you allow that to be released?
Oh my goodness. So much like a deeper inhale and just an upward feeling,
Yeah.
like the joy is starting, the real happiness
Mm,
with no sorrow energies coming up. Yeah.
beautiful. Could you just really savor that? Oh,
Uh,
this feels so good in my body. It's whatever's experiencing this, just really savor, relish, welcome, welcome this joy, delicious joy. Yeah, good. Does that feel complete for you? Or you'd like to go further?
oh, that's pretty great. Um,
Good.
yeah, I love releasing, and thanks,
Oh, yeah, thank
Anke
you.
and Gopal and MJ for being here too.
I know I love this different day of the week. I have these beautiful other bodies, minds here. It's lovely.
Yeah, just FYI, I found your support call. I joined the Circle community from releasing,
Perfect. Yeah,
and
great.
so that's how I knew about you today. Yeah,
Yay. Well, welcome to Circle. I'm glad
yeah.
you joined. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, MJ.
Hi, Laurel. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, great. It's always a good sign. Um, uh, I wanted to just say thank you to Bobby too. That was a wonderful, uh, tangential kind of release for me as well in this related issue. So thank you.
Oh,
Um,
perfect.
yeah, and you mentioned, Laurel, you mentioned a video, or will the video be available somewhere?
Yes, so I record these and I upload them on my YouTube channel.
Oh, YouTube. Okay.
Yep. And
I
so
just
I
search you.
and I try to I try to remember on the WhatsApp group to post the recordings as well.
Oh,
So
okay. Like
I
a
will,
link to them, you mean?
yes, yep,
Okay.
yep. So I will do my best under I think it's under the announcements that I'll post a
Okay.
recording. Um,
I just joined that group. I'm really new to WhatsApp, so I'm still figuring out how it works.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I'll do my very best to put it there as well.
That's fine. I can find you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
under my name, Laurel Askew. And
okay.
I always include the date that the call was recorded. And
That helps. I'm sure that
yeah.
helps.
Yay. So what's
Good.
going on for you today?
Well, of course, now it's a little bit out of my head because of listening to you and Bobby, but I'm dealing with some kind of long-term chronic health stuff, and there's a bunch of things that I probably should be doing that I used to be really good about doing, and then some things in my life got crazy, and I just sort of fell off doing them, and now things in my life have settled down, and I just can't seem to get myself doing them again. They feel like brushing my teeth, like, the kinds of things that you like maintenance stuff that you kind of have to do, but they don't really move you forward in life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just bored of them, and I'm tired of taking care of my health. And I've done a little bit of my own releasing around resistance and all that, but it hasn't shifted much. So I thought I'd try doing
Okay.
it with somebody else.
Yeah. And is there like so there's a bunch of different things, or is there one main thing that
There are a bunch of different things we could work with, an individual one if that would make more sense. I haven't really known, I'm sort of new to releasing, so I haven't really known what's the best strategy for stuff like this.
I
Um,
mean there's not one strategy, so it's always just
okay.
like it's like a dartboard, throw it here and we'll just see where we start and see what happens.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's been my experience. Um, Probably
yeah.
so do you want me to pick one thing or does
Well,
it?
I would just check in with yourself because I always like it to be whatever shows up for
Yeah.
you. So just noticing all these things that you feel like you should be doing and the resistance that's there to be doing them. And
Mhm.
just see if it comes up like it's the whole collection of things, or if there's one thing that rises to the surface of pick me, I want to get all the attention. Just see if you get one or the other and we'll just go from there.
I think it's the group.
Okay. That's
Yeah, the
that's
pile.
yeah.
And part of it
Um
is Is like if I don't have time to do them all in one day, then how do I pick one? And then I get hung up in that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of intersections or in some of this stuff,
Yeah.
interdependence and stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's just take a moment and just notice all the things that you feel like you should be doing for your health. And could you notice all the resistance to doing them?
It's interesting I've been assuming it was resistance, and what came
Mm-hmm.
up when you said that was it just feels like too much. Like I can't do everything and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So could you notice what feels like it's just too much?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just allow yourself to focus on that.
Yeah, there's sadness there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so could you welcome that sadness? Just hold some space for it.
Yep.
Beautiful. And as you hold that sadness, noticing if there's any thoughts connected to it's just too much. All these things should be doing, and it's too much for me. Just noticing if any thoughts arise around any of that. Without getting too attached to any one thought, can you simply notice as it arises?
I'm not having a lot of thoughts, just
Okay.
kind of sadness and some uh now it's gone. There was sort of a funny feeling, but
Okay.
it's
So as
gotten
you
a little
notice,
vague.
okay, that's totally, yeah, it's just, we hold on to these things, but they're really just, they come and they go. And um,
Mm.
so notice, is that sadness still here?
Yeah, it's less,
Yeah.
but it's here.
Yeah. And as you notice that sadness, does it seem to come from any particular part of the body?
Yeah, sort of the high heart area and up into my jaw and throat.
Okay. So could you take a moment to notice any sensation in those parts of the body, seemingly connected to this experience?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and if you want, you can place a hand there if it's helpful to acknowledge the sensation, to let the body know, I hear you, I'm paying attention. And then
Okay.
just to be curious, wherever that sensation appears to be really strong or most strong, you can check in with that part of the body and just ask it, what do you need from me?
You mean like from me or from you?
Asking the body what it needs
Okay, from anyone,
from you.
not from me. Okay, yeah.
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 What do you need?
Well, the phrase that comes is just, help, support, not to
Okay.
be doing it all myself.
Okay. And what would help or support look like?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Yeah. Well, we'll just be open to seeing what that could be. I like when people have especially a physical sensation going on, especially if it's chronic. I like to connect with the body to see, really what does the body need? Has so much has so much wisdom for us, and so there's this need for help or support. So being open to what would that look like,
Right.
to provide assistance in the body. But we don't have to know in this moment. We can just be open to that answer arising when it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else around this feeling of it's too much? There might be some story around that or some judgment. Connecting back to that and seeing if there's anything else that appears to be part of this experience of what should be done.
It feels connected to getting support, like that it's too much for anyone else to wrap their head around.
Mm-hmm.
I can barely do it myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So could you
it's a
notice how
complicated
much,
situation.
okay, could you notice how much there's a wanting for support?
Not as strong as I thought it would be.
Okay, good. And then can you also welcome receiving support? Or even if that support would come from yourself, having more capacity, or from someone outside of yourself, just that sense of receiving support. Could you be open to that possibility?
Yeah, there's noise around it being sort of impossible, but I like
Yeah,
the idea of being open to the possibility.
we're just we're just going to go back and forth so that that
Yeah.
noise it'll have a chance to be welcome
Okay.
too.
Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
so we'll do that now. Any of that noise, any of the I'm not getting it, or there isn't support, or whatever that's saying that's on the other side. You just allow that to be here as much as it is.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, just allowing it to be welcomed. I hear you. You're heard.
Mm. Even if you're huge.
Even if you're, yeah, it's megaphone, biggest megaphone. I'm allow it to express as much as appears to be here. And then that thing that you're wanting and needing, could you be open to the possibility of receiving that, of having that, just for now, as best you can? When I
Yeah.
have, yeah, just feeling it, just like imagining if I had that right now, if I was supported, what would that feel like in the body? You don't have to know how. Just open to that possibility. Could you welcome that?
Yeah, there's this possibility of like settling down.
Settling down, yes. Perfect. Could you welcome settling down
Just the possibility.
as best you can? Yeah. Yeah. And just for a moment, could you really welcome in your body? What would that feel like for there to be settling down? Just for now, this moment. Could you feel that? And then whatever's on the other side of that, whatever's getting in the way or is making that difficult, could you simply acknowledge that? Could
think
you
I'm
allow
still
that?
with the one, still the one with the one before that, the settling down.
Oh, you want to hang with settling down? We'll hang out there. Yeah, welcome that. Take as long as you'd like. You just let me know when you feel complete with being with that. There might be other words that describe it. It could be a sense of peace, or calm.
Just seems to be a lot of grief.
Oh, okay. Yeah, could you allow that grief to be here as much as it is? And if you dove into that grief, if you stepped into it, into that feeling,
Is that different than welcoming or just feeling it?
this is diving in.
Like what does that mean? What do you do?
Yeah, so and if it doesn't land for you, it's okay. But there's, we have these thoughts. I mean, even just this short time with you and I, there's a lot of things that appear to arise. We had sadness, we had grief, we had the resistance, wanting support. So there's all these, our thoughts and our feelings
Yeah.
really reside on like the surface of our being. But they seem to, but when they're really big, they seem to get all of our attention. But as we release, you may have had the experience that you might have had a big feeling or like a big thought that was taking up a lot of space that in a few moments can release. And there's like something, the sense of peace or openness, or spaciousness that arises. It seems to come out of nowhere. And so the idea with diving in is that when there's an intense feeling, especially that's when we use it, that you kind of go into that feeling and it's like you're welcoming it, but you're also like, it's like peeking behind the curtain. What's on the other side of this grief? Or if I went even further in there, what would I find? And you might find more grief. You might find spaciousness. You might find another feeling. It's just a way to connect with the greater aspect of who we are beyond what's on the surface.
Okay.
But everybody, it's not for everyone. So if you're like, I don't know, then we can always shift.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm just distracted or if what you're saying has sort of helped that along, but I feel a lot quieter.
Yeah, good. Perfect. Well, and and releasing is just a natural process of what we do.
Yeah.
And so it can just happen and we don't have to really think about like how did that happen? Was it this? Was it that? Oh, it just happens. Like so
Right.
good.
I
Quieter.
get all hung up
Perfect.
and like, what do I do?
Yeah, it's less about doing, it's just more about being.
Yeah.
Really. Good. Does that feel like a stopping point for you, MJ?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome. You're
Yeah.
so welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
Yay.
I received a little support.
Yeah, and may the support keep coming your way.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, all right. Anybody else here um would like to receive support, ask a question, um, share gain? Gopal,
Hey, hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thanks for asking.
Oh,
Um,
wonderful.
yeah, um, actually, I wanted to have some help um, in terms of uh, the future. I've been thinking a lot about the future and I need help around that.
Okay. Is there a particular goal or something in the future that you're thinking about particularly?
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's a um, financial goal,
Okay.
and reaching a financial goal with peace most of the time is what my goal is. And yeah, that's it. You're right.
Okay. Well, let me, I want to share with you the way that I learned from Hale in the facilitator training about working with goals, which you may be familiar with, but for anybody that's not, it may be useful. So am I not seeing? So we start with imagining that you've achieved this goal. And it doesn't matter what moment in time, and you might have a particular time frame that you're working at with, and if so, you can bring that in. But just taking a moment to
Mm.
imagine that I've achieved it. I've achieved this goal. The moment is here.
Mm.
I've raised this amount of money that I've been working towards. And if there's any images that come to mind, I invite you to just notice that. Might also notice what thoughts might you have once you've achieved this goal. Or also feelings. What's it going to feel like? Might be a sense of relief or accomplishment or excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as best as you can, imagining that it's happened right now, like that you're experiencing it in this moment.
Yeah.
Good. Making it feel as real as possible. I did it.
Yeah.
Mhm. And as you welcome achieving that goal, is there any resistance that arises around it?
Yeah.
Okay. What are what is the resistance?
Um, the resistance is that it's too far to stretch the goal, and it may not be possible. Um,
Okay.
mm,
It's not possible.
yes.
Let's start with that. So, could you allow yourself to focus on this belief that it's not possible to attain this goal?
Yeah.
Good. Just noticing how much you feel like that's true. And do you want to keep believing this?
No.
Okay. So if you could you let go of believing that it's not possible? Could you release that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And would you?
Yes.
When?
No.
Good. Just allowing anything that's ready to unwind, to let go. And noticing any more resistance to this goal. It could be the same belief that it's not possible, or it could be something else. Just
Mm.
noticing
There's
whatever's there. Go ahead.
yeah. There's a lot of heaviness with it.
Yeah. So could you notice that heaviness?
Yes.
And just noticing how heavy that feels.
Yes.
Yeah. And then could you notice the space around that heaviness?
Yes.
Yeah, could you welcome that sense of spaciousness?
Yes.
Could you notice how far out that spaciousness goes, that sense of expansion and I can't say that word, limitlessness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then could you notice what appears to seem heavy? Could you allow it to be as heavy as it appears to be?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then could you notice the space where that heaviness appears?
Yes.
Yeah. And could you relax into that spaciousness?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, noticing this goal and any limitations to achieving it. And
Just ask.
what was that?
Just I just wanted to ask someone really got financially free with just releasing. Um, um, I've got benefits, financial benefits, but
Uh-huh.
now next target is quite bigger. From where I've coming, it was a bigger at that point of time too, and I've
Mm-hmm.
achieved that goal, uh, an intermediate goal. But now there's the next goal is there. So I just a query was coming in your experience. Do you know someone who will become financially free by just releasing? I think it's just trying to figuring out.
Yeah. So notice how much you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And does the trying to figure it out, like there is like the pushing against something, we want this thing and it's like how much we want for it is another form of resistance. It's just, yeah. And so instead of just being open to receiving it, allowing it to come into your life, letting it flow. And it doesn't mean that action won't happen. Whatever the steps that are needed for this goal to be achieved,
Yeah.
you still take those steps, but you take them from a place that is more open, less resistant. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So it might not be that just releasing is going to support you to achieve that goal, but it's going to help whatever the steps are that are needed. It's going to support you to navigate that in a more easeful way, less resistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's here now when you think about your goal?
There's much more calm now,
Beautiful.
and
Wonderful.
yeah.
Does that feel complete for you?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Wonderful. Well, enjoy the journey working towards your goal. We're allowing it to come to you.
Yes.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gopal. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Catherine.
Oh, hello, Laurel.
Hi.
Okay, oops, it asked me to unmute myself. I hope you're well.
I am.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you I know I finally got here and put my hand up, but thanks for
Oh,
earlier.
perfect.
So
Yeah, you're good.
what I would like some help with is I'm becoming aware, or it's been a while that I've been aware, but it's kind of forming better for me, that there's some unconscious things I can't really even touch. You know, like I don't even know exactly that they're there, but they keep coming up. And
Mhm.
the one that I can actually kind of wrap my mind around is kind of to do with carelessness. Like I have a filter that says you just can't be careless. You have to be vigilant, right? And yet, you know, to be lighthearted and care less, I want to be able to do that in order to, you know, live freer. And then the other two that I can't quite put my finger on, there's something, and I think they're like the same energy, right? The one is about learning. Like I'm working on studying Chinese metaphysics right now, and learning Chinese metaphysics is a whole new language. And I can feel that there's a hesitation and maybe even a belief in me that I can't learn it. But you know, I have like plenty of certificates proving when I put my mind to anything, I can learn it. So it's like the ease of allowing it to be received, and I'm like somehow blocking that or something. And then the other one is about you know, being comfortable in my physical body, like as a woman. Not like I want to do it as a man, but more like the sensuality components of being a woman. Like I've always had to be practical and functional and always in survival mode, and I don't think of it like that, right? But it kind of goes with careless, just be less worried about it, just be comfortable in all elements of myself. So I notice it, and I feel like it's kind of those three areas are hesitation
Hmm.
in me, something to allowing, and I feel like there's something similar in there, and I hope that you could pull the thread.
So, in what way, in these different areas that you mentioned, does hesitation benefit you?
It doesn't. Like, it provides hesitation is self-protective, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I have a deeply ingrained pattern of slow down, analyze, you know, slow down, read all of the sensory that's coming in, and then make a very wise choice. So
Mm-hmm.
that's probably why I hesitate.
Okay. And is that something you want to change or get rid of?
I'd like to use it effectively and not in every area of my life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can we strategically remove it?
I mean, anything's possible.
Right. I don't want to full sweep it. Like there's times when I have a patient under anesthesia, I want to be reading it all.
Right, right.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to feel into what you got here and see how we want to proceed with what
Right.
you've
No,
shared.
Mhm.
So you mentioned a desire to be comfortable in all elements.
Yes.
Is that true? Okay.
Yes.
So could you notice how much you desire for that? How much you want that?
Yeah, I really want that.
Mm-hmm. And as you notice how much you want that, does that show up as wanting approval, wanting control, wanting safety, or wanting separation or oneness?
I would say ease and oneness. Flow.
Okay, so you want wanting oneness.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So can you notice how much you want oneness? How much you yearn for that?
Yes.
And then could you let that wanting go?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
No.
And then I invite you to notice what's on the other side of wanting oneness, wanting ease. It's the allowing of the oneness that's already here.
Yeah. Its being is on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Being the oneness that you are. Beyond any of these stories or patterns.
So interesting. What? So interesting. I'm right now, right, being, and I'm in a space where I live when I meditate, which is like this diffused out human cloud that just floats in the air.
Yeah.
Become these little molecules, and I'm like all over the place. Right?
So just continue to enjoy and welcome that cloud. And from that cloud, looking downward at these stories that Catherine shared, the mind body known as Catherine, about learning Chinese metaphysics, about feeling comfortable in the body, about a sense of needing to be vigilant, any of these stories. Just noticing the stories from this vantage point, from the place of pure beingness.
I can't even see them.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I can't even say they're silly, you know, but it's like I'm like gazing down going, where are they? I can't find them. Well,
Yeah.
they don't even exist.
They don't even exist.
They don't even exist.
These are thoughts. These are ideas. These are things we tell ourselves over and over that we feel like they're true and real, but they really don't exist.
The things we sacrifice to live in a physical body in a physical world.
It's just an experience, you know,
Right?
apparently
I
it's
know.
apparently happening.
I know, it's apparently happening. Oh.
Yeah.
And when it was happening to a tiny little being, you know, like a baby or a child, you know, you were trying to figure out how to make that spirit present in that body, right?
Yeah. I mean, we just chose to be in these bodies having this human experience, you know.
Right.
We chose to have sensation and all these things that we cling to, that are
I have a friend that tells me that I'm a meat puppet, that I prefer to be out of body almost all the time.
yeah.
And then I move my body around like it's a puppet. And it's
Yeah.
kind of true. And it's hard for
Yes.
me to embody. I want that spirit in the body and to be comfortable in my body. And the things I just described to you were the in the body things. And so when they're uncomfortable, I leave. But I can do that. I just did it. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't have to leave. I can be in my body and be there too.
Yep. And that's the practice. That's the practice.
Oh, thank you, Laurel.
Yeah, you're welcome. And just noticing, you know, when those moments arise where oneness, you seem to be separate from oneness, and you seem to be wanting, you know, like there's a wanting for it, wanting to return to what you're noticing now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that wanting that creates a sense of separation, that I'm separate from that. So you can just acknowledge, oh, that wanting is here again. And maybe I could just allow that to dissolve. I could allow myself to let that go and reconnect to the oneness, the beingness that's always here as best as we can.
That's a gift,
It is a gift.
right? What you just gave me was such a gift because now
Aw.
the tool that you just gave me, instead of it being a prison bar that holds me, that traps me somehow, I take it and I make it a walking stick, right? It's just so I can take that with me, but it doesn't need to be a barrier, you know? I can like, doesn't block me. It can be there, but it doesn't have to block me. The wanting can show up and the wanting can go. But the being is always present.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm in that state of being and allowing, it all kind of flows in. I don't have to even work for it.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
All
That's
right.
the
Well,
key.
feng shui with both of us, right?
Yeah, beautiful. Well, enjoy that.
All right.
And have compassion for Catherine and all of her stories and the ways that she's yearning for something else. You know, just love all of it
Yeah.
as it is, as best as we
Oh,
can.
thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad you were here.
Yes. It was a hard meeting to escape. But they could tell I was fidgeting.
Oh, well, I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You're so
Okay.
welcome.
Mm,
All right. Well,
Yeah.
on that note, I'm gonna end for today. And if anyone would like to say goodbye, I just appreciate everyone that was here and anyone on the replay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Laurel. That was great.
Oh,
I'm so sorry that normally on Wednesdays I can't join you.
oh no.
I would love to do that more often, but
Well,
it's,
if you ever have a chance, and
yeah,
there's so many wonderful people in this community, so I'm just grateful to be one of many to provide support. So
yeah, that's really wonderful. Thank you very much for that.
yeah, thank you
Mm.
all for being here, and I'm gonna
Thank you,
go.
Laurel. Have a
Thank
beautiful
you,
day.
Laurel. You
Thank you
too. Good luck
all.
skiing.
And yeah,
Yeah,
enjoy
I hope
skiing.
I will.
I'm
I
here.
hope I hope to see you all again.
I'm
Have a
Thank
great.
you
I'm
again.
You're
I'm
so
skiing with
welcome.
you in my mind.
Please, please, please.
Yes.
Flying down
No.
the hills. Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna
Wow.
take the ease and the oneness and the peace and the
Yeah,
spaciousness with
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, thank you all. You're all so beautiful. Have a great day.
You have a
Bye-bye.
Bye.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.